What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tortos Raid Guide. As always, this is going to be a 25-man point of view. As always, the abilities will be scrolling above my head, so if you want to pause it and take a look, go ahead. For this fight, you do need 2 tanks, because one tank does have to stay in melee range. If no one is within melee range, he pretty much wipes your raid, so you need to keep that in mind at all times. There's a couple different things that you really need to focus on during this raid. The biggest things are to split up your group and to make sure that you know what you're doing in each group, okay? There's going to be a tank who's taking the boss, always standing in melee, pretty much just sitting there. The other tank is going to be in charge of vampire bats. The trick with the vampire bats is they spawn periodically throughout the encounter, and what you need to do is you need to never let your tank drop below 35% health. If your tank drops below that, the bats heal themselves pretty much back to full, and it just takes a lot longer to kill them. It's a pain in the butt. You don't want to do it, trust me. The other main things that you have to watch out for in this raid are stalactites falling from the ceiling. There's big blue circles on the ground. Just pretty much stay out of blue circles on the ground. You do pretty much need to run around for that phase. And the biggest part of the phase, probably one of the most fun aspects of the fight, is the turtles, the whirling turtles, okay? He will spawn 3 of these periodically throughout the fight. You do need to DPS them down. The reason you need to DPS them down and that they are the priority is because once they're dead, their shells will remain. You will have an extra action button that you see above me, and what you need to do is you need to aim towards the boss, and whenever he's doing his furious ability, you need to kick that into the boss. Now, the other thing that this does is also make the boss take 15% extra damage for the duration of time. So what you need to do is to make sure that you're using these accordingly, as well as making sure that you have one ready for the next stomp when that comes out. Now, these whirling turtles will just randomly target people and just sprint across all the way around the room. What you need to do is you need to make sure you don't get hit by them. If you do, it will knock you back. It slows your DPS. The trick is the turtles can be slowed. So if you have your melee and the bats and the other tank kind of all right up by the boss, they can cleave onto the boss. And when the turtles come out, if you have death knights with like chillbanes, hunter traps will work. Anything will work to slow these, but you need to keep them slowed. The reason being is because they're much more manageable when they're slowed. You can kind of keep them together, get some cleave damage going on them, get some AoE damage going on them when they initially release. That is the biggest thing, is to immediately slow them so then you can kind of work them out throughout the room as they're dying. Those are the biggest points to the fight. But like I said, that's pretty much the entire encounter. It is a little hectic. You need to understand that the kill order is going to be turtles, bats, boss. Turtles, bats, boss. How we did this encounter was we had our range worry about the turtles, our melee worry about the bats, and then when everything was dead, then you kind of threw back on the boss, and we just kind of kept going in this cycle. The berserk timer you really don't need to worry about in this fight. It's really more about ad control, making sure that you have people in charge of kicking the shells into the boss to make sure that the boss is taking extra damage and to make sure that you're interrupting. Now, it does have a travel time also, so whoever is doing that in your raid group, you need to make sure that they understand how the mechanic works, so that they interrupt the cast. It's not that hard to figure out once you've got it down, but if you can do those things, you can kill this boss. It's really a really fun fight. I think Blizzard did a great job with this fight, so go ahead and watch the rest of this kill video. I was Fire for this fight. I am Frost now, but it was really cool to do this fight, as there's just a lot of movement, there's a lot of things going on, and you really need to be aware of your surroundings as well as your DPS targets. The biggest thing that we made a mistake in this video was our slowing onto the whirling turtles. We had virtually 0, which was a mistake on our part. Had it been, had we not been over-geared for this fight, we probably would have figured it out sooner than later, but that's a big thing that we did miss. So I hope you guys pick up on that. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.